First of all, I need to say this. This is specifically for this scenario. I feel like no matter what I say, I'm going to give away a spoiler. So I'm going to answer in a way that sounds like I'm being really careful about what I say. Or at least, I hope this will be a satisfying answer. Ertan's conflicted state kind of drew me in. Of course, the fact that Ertan was created by Sima Ergenekon's pen was also very appealing to me, both within the story and for the character. It's really enjoyable. I mean, I ask a question and she says I'll get the answer in episode 13. She says things like that. So it's just fantastic. That's why. That ambivalent state, that conflicted side, the fact that at some point he's going to enter a mindset where he has to go in a completely different direction, that really excited me. His relationships with the other characters, the balance he establishes among them, all of that was challenging and intriguing for me. Ertan thinks he's the mastermind. He thinks he's the mastermind, but that's just what he thinks. He believes that's who he is. He'll see that it's not actually the case. The game within the game is going to be something that really wears Ertan out. The state he ends up in when he feels lost or thinks he's strayed from his path. That's something I'm also really curious about. He will change. He will change, but all I know is that he will change. Because this is exactly what I'm talking about. No matter what I say, I feel like it's heading somewhere. But all I can say is that he will change. Stay tuned. I'm really excited. The whole team is really excited. I hope you'll really love what comes out of this. I think you will. Let's wait and see. I'm just as excited as they are. That's what I can say.
A project filled with mind games and plenty of unexpected twists. In this story, we'll see everyone's defeatful side. That's why it's a really exciting project, because that's how it feels to read and perform it. I'm sure it'll be just as thrilling. I'm a very dedicated series viewer. I usually read scripts wondering, would I watch this myself? Because I want to enjoy myself while watching. And that's exactly how it feels to act in it, too. This story is the kind of project that can surprise anyone at any moment. That's why I think its motivation is so strong. How should I put it? It's like life itself. You never know what might happen next. You can always be surprised. It's the same for the actors involved in this project. So it's already going to be like that for the audience. But for us, it's the same. Yes, it's about wondering what will happen next. Being curious about the story even before our character knows. I think that's the value of Dear Sima Ergenekon's writing. That's why we chose to do this project. Asya doesn't have an easy life. She has taken on the responsibility of her family, a self-sacrificing girl who works and strives for them. Thankfully, she's very quick-witted. That's why it also makes her a bit fun. I think she's attached to life despite everything. She's very devoted to her siblings. Her brother drags her into a dark situation, and that's when her life intersects with Ertan's. That's where our story begins.
I really liked the script. It immediately reminded me of one of our proverbs. A liar's candle only burns until nightfall. So, it's probably obvious how this proverb came about in the past. And I think in this series, we can come across some very interesting examples of how it should be reasoned about in our present age. So, I also enjoy the effort I put into thinking about these examples while acting and interpreting them.
What I really liked was that it's gripping, intriguing, and a completely new story. Honestly, there are also some elements from our present day and our story. This really caught my attention, and I liked it a lot.
As actors, one of the things we probably need the most is to be able to play roles like this. So when we read a script, it's the plot, the structure, the depth of the characters, and so on. When you bring all these together, it naturally whets your appetite as an actor. I'm sure it will be a very enjoyable script from the audience's perspective as well.
I found it dynamic and fun. I especially loved its structure. I didn't have much information about my own character, but honestly, I wanted to be part of it, thinking it would be a fun project to be involved in.
Honestly, I realized something. We all have these little acts of deception in our lives. To survive, we need to be a bit agile and adaptable in life. I thought this could only be portrayed this well in its most realistic form. And I think this is one of the rare stories where I empathized with all the characters from the very first episode.
I got really excited because what I was reading was incredibly thrilling. With every page I turned, I felt like this. I kept thinking, and then what happened? what happened next, and I really liked it. It's so gripping and truly a script that constantly triggers your curiosity with, okay, so what happens next, without letting up.
I felt a sense of déjà vu, let me put it that way. It was as if I had lived this moment before. What I especially loved most in the script were those plot twists within its own dynamics. I don't want to give any spoilers, but let me just say it was really great.
Anyone can do anything to anyone at any moment. It's an unsettling series. Everyone is a fraud.
When I read the script, I felt there was a sense of adventure in the plot that I believe will surprise the audience as much as the reader and lead them into unexpected twists. And actually, all the characters are a huge part of this adventure. It was a project that gave me a deep sense of satisfaction and excitement as I read it. I am the head of a wealthy family, but I am somewhat troubled by my children. I might be dreaming of building different and perhaps better relationships with them about life. But of course, that's just his perspective. They each have their own unique perspectives as well. They are struggling with whether or not they can meet at a common ground. In order to solve this problem, all parties involved, all the actors in this situation, are being deceitful.
Huma is a woman who, although under her brother's yoke, still holds onto her own strength within. Huma's story is actually a rather tragic one. You'll learn about her as you keep watching.
Let me say, she's a character you'll get to know by watching. Ander is also someone who carries some deep pain. In his past, he's been burdened with more than his share of suffering, but at the same time, he's loyal to his loved ones, his family, his friends, faithful, upright, honest, and the kind of person who would sacrifice his life for those he cares about.
There isn't much information about the character as of the first episode. He's a character who unfolds later on. So I can't really say much about him either. But, I can't say he's 100% this way or 100% that way. So honestly, I'm excited too. I can say we're discovering as we go along.
Actually, I don't want to spoil too much of the surprise, because he's the kind of character where, the more you dig, the more new things you find. I think, by the way, that's true for all the characters in the series, or for everyone we meet in life. She's a girl who clings to life with both hands, trying to live, trying to assert her own existence. That's why, seeing her struggle so hard to exist, it really excited me. Fury is a character whose heart and soul are pure, but who has fully adapted to the living conditions in this house and has decided to be just like everyone else. So my character Fury is, at first glance, not someone who is easy to understand, but as you dig deeper, as events unfold, I think she becomes a character that, more or less, all of us can emotionally connect with.
He's a real Cy Fox, through and through. Someone with a bit of crazy courage. Not exactly crazy courage, but you know what I mean. A character who jumps into things without knowing what's going on, acts with that courage, but then experiences her own regrets and inner conflicts.
Emotionless, lacking empathy, annoying, but she has valid reasons for it. Life has actually put her in that position.
Use another saying. I guess today is my day for speaking in maxims. You know that saying, Psalms speak of you, your name is on everyone's lips. Now, in every kind of expression like this, there are rich meanings within themselves. For example, when we say traditional Turkish hospitality, even though it's a concept expressed in a single sentence, countless images come to mind. But we assume that everyone understands it just because it's said in a single sentence. No, what's actually in it? There's responsibility, there's goodwill, there's valuing the other person. There's honesty, trust, sacrifice. Isn't that right? There are so many things like this. We could list them all. This is culture. Now, in this series as well, its name is Imposters. And with that name, there are plenty of fitting situations. I think our viewers will easily understand these situations. Once they understand this, everyone will either self-reflect and say, yes, I do these things too, but I shouldn't. Or they'll say, I don't do these things, and I'm against them being done. They'll say, I'll also criticize those who do them. If this way of thinking crosses people's minds, it's something important and creative, and it's very fitting for our era.
Honestly, I think a really great series awaits. I say, don't miss it at all. Because in every episode, in every scene, You learn so many new things, interesting hidden things. Be sure to watch it.
It's a story that those who follow us from Yardi will enjoy just as much. Sahtekarlar is once again a project filled with intense curiosity, where people constantly wonder what will happen next, where the emotional weight sometimes becomes overwhelming, and where we keep asking ourselves, who can we really trust? That's what awaits all of us.
Honestly, I think you're in for a fun, fast-paced, mind-bending, and really charming series.
I guess it's the kind of show where, as you watch, the audience will constantly feel like they're stumbling, as if they're walking on a broken sidewalk. And when you read it, it throws the same kind of fake out at you. Now we've started filming, and I'm really curious to see how it turns out. It contains a lot of fake outs. It's like, while you're looking from here, the blow comes from the other side. It's a very exciting, dynamic, and fast-paced project. Let's see how it turns out.
It's not that there are too many things happening, but the fact that everything happens at once, I think, will keep the audience glued to the screen. So it's gripping and keeps you curious. When I read it and interpreted it, I found that it has elements that are funny to me, at least in my opinion, jokes within itself, a bit of intrigue, a bit of crime, a bit of drama. It's a mix, but I'm absolutely sure it will keep people glued to their screens.
I think there's a show ahead with lots of unexpected twists, where everyone will get to watch some incredible deceit.
A somewhat unsettling series awaits, an exciting series awaits. It's the kind of show that sparks curiosity, where you'll watch with anticipation, wondering who is doing what to whom and what more could possibly happen.
I think after each episode, people will be calling each other and talking about what's going to happen in the next one. I believe it will be a show where everyone comes up with theories, makes predictions, sometimes experiences intense drama, sometimes a lot of excitement and adventure, always filled with curiosity, and constantly caught off guard by. I want to ask, when and where will you discover this deception? From the moment you discover it, will your perspective on the series change or not? If you keep these questions in mind and try to answer them as you watch the series, we might all end up at a very interesting point together. Because as we do this, we want to establish this kind of communication with you. Because we've understood what this script is trying to say. We want to share the happiness of being able to convey them with you. So, in other words, we say yes to art.
I send you all my love. It will be a real pleasure to be together again, to meet again. I'm sure you are waiting for this too.
Take care of yourselves and your health. May God keep all harm away from you. May your life always be filled with happiness, peace, and beauty. Or rather, may our lives be that way.
Don't believe anyone. Everyone in this series is a fraud.
Be prepared. Sit in your seats, hold on tight, and I hope you'll be watching us. We would, of course, be very pleased for you to host us, because we're already doing this for someone after all. So much effort is put in so it can reach you. I hope it finds its worth. I truly wish for that. But right now, I'm extremely happy just to be here. Thank you.
I hope that when you watch it, you like it at least as much as I did. It took me to other places. In other words, every time it filled me with the urge to read faster and to learn more. So I hope you get the same pleasure, the same enjoyment when you watch it. I want us to meet as soon as possible. That's the only thing I can say to the audience. Let's meet as soon as possible, because I'm really curious about what you think.
See you on October 12th.
I say, outside of television, don't let anyone compare you to imposters. Please watch it.
We're doing a very enjoyable job. Of course, as with all our work, we are fully committed to it, doing it with love and great effort. I hope it resonates with you as well. I hope you love it too.